What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for MLB Sunday, May 9th.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon.
so you don't miss our new videos.
In this video, I'm going to go over my top DFS picks for today's MLB slate.
And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made.
Okay guys, we have an 11 game slate today, so let's take a look at the pitcher position. I like Lucas Giolito with a small pitching advantage here over a low salary batting team, the Kansas City Royals. Lucas Giolito, he's only giving up a .518 OPS versus lefties, and he's facing 3 lefties here. And then he gives up a .728 OPS versus righties, and he's facing 5 righties. So that concerned me a little bit, although I think he still has pretty decent splits. What I liked about this pick is that the Royals have only hit 24 of his last 113 pitches. So they're batting a .212 batting average, a .212 batting average, and that's a pretty big sample size. He's $9,600 FanDuel salary, and he's $100 less on DraftKings, projected at 39.1 fantasy points here tonight. He does have an ERA of 4.99. His record is 1-3 on the season, pitching an average of 93 pitches per game. He's averaging 29 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 37, 29, and -18 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So he's off to a rough start, but he has a fantastic matchup here, and Vegas only thinks there's going to be 7.5 runs scored in this game. That's their over-under, so they think it's going to be a low-scoring game. So I like the pitcher versus batter history here. I like the matchup, so I like Lucas Giolito here versus the Kansas City Royals. Okay, let's take a look at the catcher position. I like Christian Vasquez with a 23% batting advantage over Dean Kramer. Christian Vasquez bats 12% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .789 OPS versus righties. And Dean Kramer, he throws his worst ball versus righty batters. 11% worse than his pitch to lefties. And there's no at-bats versus Kramer yet, but Christian Vasquez is only $2,600 FanDuel salary, and he's $1,600 more on DraftKings, projected at 9.4 fantasy points, and he's averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season, and he's been on fire, scoring 22, 16, and 10 fantasy points in the last 3 games. So he has good splits, he has a good matchup, a pretty good batting average, and per game fantasy point per game numbers. So I like Christian Vasquez here versus Dean Kramer.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching. If you want to enter the drawing for $100 PayPal, all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won, and then we'll send you $100 PayPal. So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Now guys, just as a quick note, we just released a free DFS contest on Draft Dashboard for MLB and NBA for DraftKings and FanDuel. There's over $500 available in the prize pool, and this is a totally free contest you can enter as a Draft Dashboard member. So make sure to click the link in the description of this video, give Draft Dashboard a try, and you can start playing in our free DFS contest and compete to win some money. Okay, let's take a look at the second base position. I like Adam Frazier with a 38% batting advantage over Kyle Hendricks. Adam Frazier, he bats 20% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .763 OPS versus righties. And Kyle Hendricks throws 18% worse to lefties as he does righties, giving up a .911 OPS versus lefties. But I like this pick because Adam Frazier has hit 11 of his last 23 at-bats versus Hendricks. That's a .478 batting average and a 1.364 OPS. So he's hit 2 home runs out of those 11 hits, and he's only $2,800 FanDuel salary and $900 more on DraftKings. Projected at 10.1 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 21, 9, and 3 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Adam Frazier here versus Kyle Hendricks. Okay, let's take a look at the third base position. I like Josh Donaldson with a 42% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Matthew Boyd. Josh Donaldson, he's batting a .774 OPS versus lefties. And Matthew Boyd, he pitches his worst ball versus righty batters. 52% worse than his other pitches, giving up a .804 OPS versus righties. Now, Josh Donaldson, he is only 3 for 13, so that's a .231 batting average, but he has a 1.335 OPS versus Boyd because all 3 of those hits were for home runs. So I think that's why Josh Donaldson makes for an interesting boom or bust type pick here tonight. He's $3,000 FanDuel salary and he's $2,000 more on DraftKings. So I love that FanDuel price. He's projected at 11.1 fantasy points here tonight, averaging 10 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 35 and 18 fantasy points in his last 2 games. So I like Josh Donaldson as a boom or bust pick here versus Matthew Boyd.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. You can try the Position Optimizer, where you can see the top players ranked for each position. And we added a new Player Trends tool, where you can see the top salary differences between FanDuel and DraftKings. It's a really good tool to help you pick out value for the site that you're playing on. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
Okay, let's take a look at the shortstop position. I like Freddie Galvis with a 45% batting advantage over Nick Pivetta. Freddie Galvis is batting 7% better versus righty pitchers, batting a .798 OPS versus righties. And Nick Pivetta, he throws his worst ball by far to switch hitters, 38% worse than his other pitches, giving up a 1.122 OPS versus switch hitters. And I like this pick because Freddie Galvis is 4 for 6, batting a .667 batting average and a 1.881 OPS versus Pivetta. So Freddie Galvis is $2,600 FanDuel salary, and he's $900 more on DraftKings. So I like that price on both sites. He's projected at 8.8 fantasy points, and he's averaging 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He scored 19, 9, and 9 fantasy points in his last 3 games. So I like Freddie Galvis here versus Nick Pivetta. Okay, moving on to the outfield position. I like Giancarlo Stanton with a 62% batting advantage over a low salary pitcher, Joe Ross. Giancarlo Stanton, he's batting 28% better versus righty pitchers. He's batting a .962 OPS versus righties. And Joe Ross throws 35% worse to righties as he does lefties, giving up a .822 OPS versus righties. And Stanton is 2 for 9, batting a .222 batting average, but he's got a .856 OPS versus Ross because one of those 2 hits was for a home run. And he's $3,600 FanDuel salary, and he's $2,100 more on DraftKings. Projected at 11.1 fantasy points, he's averaging 12 fantasy points per game on the season, and he scored 3, 0, and 22 fantasy points in the last 3 games. I like this pick because Vegas thinks this is going to be a high-scoring game with 9.5 runs scored in this game. That's their over-under. So I like Giancarlo Stanton here versus Joe Ross.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NBA slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.